What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for a quick video today to talk about a couple of fights that have been announced for 168. We've got two more bouts announced for this card. This, of course, is the card that goes down on September 6th at the Ball Arena in Denver. This is One Championship's return to the US. They, of course, had their first ever US event last year at One Fight Night 10 in May. That was at the First Bank Center in Denver, and now they are going back to Denver for the Ball Arena on Friday, September 6th. And we already had the two top fights on this card, two title fights, two great title fights. I did do a video about those already, so I will leave the link to that at the end of this video if you do want to check out my full thoughts on Zhongjin Nan versus Stamp Fairtex for the strawweight MMA title, and then, you know, the one that we're all really excited about, Jonathan Haggerty defending the bantamweight Muay Thai title against Superlek. What a fantastic fight that is. But we've got two more, and two great additions, in my opinion. Let me pull this up on screen for you really quick. Sorry, something's trying to pop up and derail my train of thought, but I will not let it happen. There you go. Yeah, so there you have it. The two new fights, as you can see, you know, a couple of reports here. Sports Illustrated were the ones to break the one fight, and I believe Sky Sports were the one to break the other one. Let's start with this one. Liam Harrison is set to face Seksan at 168. I believe it is catchweight Muay Thai. Let's talk about that for a sec, right? Because Liam Harrison currently has a fight booked. Now, if you are a avid listener of the One on SK podcast that I feature on every now and then with the good Mr. Nick Atkin, we actually recorded an episode about an hour or two before I'm recording this video. I say an hour or two, about an hour. So, you know, go check that out. Sportskeeda MMA Originals YouTube channel. Make sure to click on the live section so you can watch the live replay, because it is streamed live on YouTube, that podcast. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so we kind of already knew that this was already, you know, kind of put out there that Liam was going to be double booked, and I think kind of, you know, it was suggested that it was Denver from quite an early point on. He, of course, is back at 167. I believe that is June 7th at the Impact Arena in Bangkok, where he's going to be taking on Katsuki Kitano. Of course, that will be his first fight in nearly 2 years. He had that knee injury against Nongo when he challenged him for the Bantamweight Muay Thai title back in 2020. One on Prime Video 1, and had that really bad knee injury and has been out ever since, and it has obviously been a long road back. And during the stages at the start of this year, really, where it looked like Liam would be able to get back in there soon, this was the fight that everyone was talking about. This was the fight that Liam has been pushing for. The fan demand for this fight to happen has been incredible to see. Like, I can't really remember seeing it happen that much before, where people just would not let it go about this fight being put together. Even so, you know, when Liam's fight against Katsuki Kitano was announced, it was like, why is this not Seksan and stuff like that? And then, you know, it kind of came out, he's got another fight booked. So that one will probably be Seksan, and of course we now know that it is, and that is exciting stuff. I'm really I put a tweet out actually to say there isn't a whole lot to talk about with this fight, because it feels like we've been talking about it for so long at this point. But the reason we've been talking about it for so long is because it's just the right fight to make for both guys at this point in their careers. You've potentially got Liam in the last run of his career. We will see how well his body holds up at 167. He sounds like everything is going to plan for him, but you know, that'll be the real test. And Seksan seems to be on his way out as well. Of course, he was going to retire before signing with One Championship at the start of 2023 and going on that incredible unbeaten run throughout the year. So, but he did suffer a loss this year against, I believe it was the guy's name, Asahi. Was it Yutaro Asahi? Have I made that up? Let me fact check that real quick. That was at the Temple One Friday Fights 50. Was it 56 card? 58. I apologize. Yeah, Yutaro Asahi. Yeah, that was a good fight. And a good performance by Yutaro. But yeah. So I'm excited for that. And finally, I say finally, the other matchup, as you can see reported here by Sports Illustrated. I'll just pull up this to show you guys. Right above the box with my head in it, a super fight in the submission grappling divisions of One Championship. Now, I did again, I tweeted out that, you know, I tend to, be a bit more positive, I think, about One Championship's submission grappling than most people. I just like seeing it get that platform. And I know that, it's maybe not for everyone, but in my opinion, if it isn't, you don't have to watch it. But if you do, then yeah, I think that this is the payoff, right? The issue with One's submission grappling, I think, is that they have some of the best competitors in the world, and they don't always find the best challenges that are out there for these guys. Well, how about we match them together, right? That was always the thing that was like the big possibility. Realistically, if you look at the divisions where they have these champions, of course, you've got Daniel Kelly, who's the Atomite champion. You wouldn't expect her to face any of the other champions. You could maybe do Ruotolo versus Ruotolo, but I think this was the one that if they were going to be able to make a super fight happen here, this was the one. You've got Mikey Musumeci, who has accomplished like everything that you can accomplish in submission grappling. He is the flyweight champion. He is going to be jumping up to lightweight to take on Kade Ruotolo and try to become a two-weight world champion. Interesting to point out that Mikey's back at 167. And he's competing at bantamweight, so it'll be a gradual jump up to lightweight. He isn't making that two weight class jump all at once. He will be taking on Gabriel Souza, who was actually the last man to beat him. So I think that's a good submission grappling matchup. Also, and Kade is also on that card, but he's competing in MMA, of course, making his MMA debut against Blake Cooper, I believe, and that's an exciting matchup as well. I expected to see Kade on one of these American events in MMA because I thought that would be a big talking point that would probably get the interest of some MMA media and things like that. The fact that you've got this guy competing in MMA with his grappling background and stuff, but hey, I love this matchup. I think this is fantastic. I'm so excited to see, Cade's style is so aggressive that is the size difference between him and Mikey going to be too much? But then Mikey just technical, from a technician standpoint, is phenomenal. And of course, he will be used to taking on opponents that are bigger than him and stuff like that over the years. So this isn't going to be anything new for Mikey Musumeci. And yeah, I think that this is obviously the best submission grappling matchup that One have put together to date. Even though I've had my criticisms, and a lot of people have had a lot more criticisms of some of the matchups and things like that, maybe not just not inspiring people, not getting them excited for this. The focusing is really bad right now, by the way, with my background, but it's because the lighting in here sucks right now because I'm filming this pretty quickly. But the benefit of that is we've seen both of these guys rack up really impressive win streaks. So now that we get to see them come together and go up against one another, we've seen both these guys be excellent, right? I mean, Kade at One Fight Night 21 in particular, I thought that was the best night that the Brutolos have had in One Championship. That was absolutely phenomenal. And then Mikey, his last performance was when he submitted Shinya Aoki with the Aoki lock, which I know that, Shinya might be towards the end of his career, but to submit a grappling legend with his own move is just outrageous. Yeah, I'm super excited for this matchup. Would I put it over the other two title fights on this card? I'll be honest and say that I might be more excited for this than the main event, but I'm excited for the main event for a different reason. The matchup is good for sure. I am excited to watch the fight, but I love that it's stamped in the main event. That's going to feel huge. It would feel bigger to me if Zhong Jingnam was kind of a bigger star. And as good as a fighter as she is, as good of a champion that she's been, she just doesn't seem to get that. She doesn't draw that reaction from people in the way that somebody like Stamp does. So I'm super pumped for these two fights that have been announced. Let me know in the comments down below, guys, your predictions for these two matchups. And yeah, good stuff. What else do you want to see on this Denver card? I was going to make a video about this actually in the next few days of kind of putting together my dream lineup for this Denver card. And now that we've got these 4 fights, I'm like, oh, I don't really know where to go from here. And I'll be honest, Cade and Mikey wouldn't have been on there. And now that I've seen it, I'm like, that of course should have been on there. That's like the best submission grappling matchup they can possibly make right now. So yeah, excited for these fights, and I hope you guys are too. Until the next time, I will see you all very soon.